Welcome, you guys. We are on a series in this yin class based on the chakras. And we have moved all the way up this week to the fifth chakra, which governs the throat, the neck, the thyroid, parathyroid glands, the jaw, the mouth, and our sense of hearing. I talked about this a little bit on Monday, but in a kind of different angle. I'll go ahead and say the color is typically like a sky blue or aquamarine blue. The element is ether, but also sound. So if you ever do sound meditation, that is a wonderful meditation for this energy field. This is a small area of the body, but think about the important location between the head and the heart. And last week, when we were talking about the heart, we mentioned we want to be more in harmony with the heart because it's the true intuitive center. It's more of the command center than even the brain. So now that we're kind of moving on up, I had an epiphany yesterday talking about this particular chakra. It governs communication, self-expression, honesty, integrity. So things that can really knock it out of whack, or lies, being verbally kind of abused or taken down, gossip, things of that nature. And one of the epiphanies I had was I was reading something and it said the divine nectar that drips down through the center can be filtered, and it can be filtered for pureness or poison. And I thought, oh, that's so interesting, because pureness, of course, would be that honesty and integrity and, being encouraging with your words, being soft-spoken when you need to be, picking the right time, saying the right things. And then the poison, of course, would be the lies, the deceit, the deception, the misinformation. And we're dealing with a lot of that right now just through the internet, because anybody can put anything up. And half the time you don't know if it's true or untrue. So this is called Vishuddha, the place of purification. Now, my epiphany yesterday, thinking about the heart center being the place of integration, and then as we move up the stairway to heaven, this being the first kind of major spiritual center, I had this thought that when we are worshiping, if you think about going to a kirtan that is about bhakti yoga and about singing the holy names, or if you're going to a church service, I want you to think about how much we use the chakra. And I'd never thought about it before. We sing, right? That's the projection of our voice. It's singing, praise. And then you have prayer. Prayer is the talking to God, or, asking for guidance from God. And then you have listening, because the hearing is also connected here. You're hearing the lesson, you're hearing the scripture, you're hearing the sermon. And I had never thought about that before. So hopefully that kind of ties it in for you as well. Funny, 20 years into this, and I'm still gaining some new kind of realizations about it, I guess you could say. So today we're going to focus here at the throat center. I have mentioned in years past that a great pranayama technique for this is any breath that's audible to hear. So the double breathing is audible, the cleansing breath is audible, and the ujjayi breath. Now, the ujjayi breath constricts the back of the throat. We use our whispering muscles to create an audible sound. This sound is something that we can sit and meditate with. We can flow in our practice with, and we can also use it at different times to bring patience, to calm down our hot-headedness, or to calm our temperament. And I've got a couple of stories about that. And in years past, I've told you I've used this at times when I've lost my voice due to allergies. So if you have laryngitis, strep throat, or raspiness, this breath is really good for it. But the story that I want to share actually isn't my personal story. It's from another yoga teacher. So I've been teaching at a studio in Mount Juliet, and there's only a few of us teachers there. And one of them is not only a yoga teacher, but she's a dance teacher and a home economics teacher at a high school. Now, she left a high school last year that she absolutely loved. They treated her well. She loved all the kids. She loved all the parents. The issue was she had gotten married and moved across town. And she had an opportunity to leave that school to go to, I don't know, it's a prestigious all girls private school in Nashville. I don't know the name of it, but anyway, she got to become the dance director there. And so, she was elated because it was going to be closer to her home. Unfortunately, she had to back off of teaching at the yoga studio, and she was only down to 1 day a week on the weekend, to make it work with her schedule. But I had gone a couple months without seeing her through that transition. And when I met up with her one Sunday, um, I said, "How's it going with your new job?" And she just broke down in tears. And she was like, "It's not going well." The one person, another teacher that she had to work, kind of one-on-one with for dance recitals and picking out costumes and figuring out the choreography and all the things that come with it, was a very angry person. She was actually mentally unstable and even admitted that she was mentally ill. And every time they would have to work together, she was getting cursed out by this woman. And it was just beating her down. And she told me one day when this woman was just basically verbally attacking her, she went into the Ujjayi breath. And she turned to her yoga and turned to her breath. I don't know if you could hear that, but she started breathing that way so that she wouldn't lash out to the woman, so that she wouldn't, you know, get reactive with her. And the woman got even more mad because she was breathing that way. And she told the lady, "I'm trying to breathe this way so that I stay calm and I don't give you what you're giving me right now." Anyway, long story made short, her old school just called her back. They wanted her to come back. She left the private school. Now she's back where she wants to be, where she belongs, and where she doesn't have to worry about getting verbally attacked anymore. So I have used this breath. This is where my personal story comes in, with my partners. Anytime you are in a relationship with someone, you are like a mirror and you reflect things back. And it is a little easier to lash out at the ones you love and live with, more so than complete strangers, right? And so if there's ever an argument or my buttons are being pushed, that's my go-to breath, because that keeps me more calm and collected. So I want us to do that together. So you're going to put your hand up and you're going to breathe in through your nose and exhale like you're fogging a mirror. Do it again. Breathing in. Exhale, breathe it out. Now we're going to do that with our mouth closed. Continue to breathe and listen. Sounding like a whisper, an ocean wave. It's more chest breathing. And notice the effect it has on your mind and body. Continue a few more rounds. And then find a comfortable seat on your bolster. And instead of sitting right on top, scoot to the edge so your knees tilt forward and down, and you get that natural curve in your low back, which makes it easier to sit. And then have your hands resting on your lap. Take a deep breath in and draw the chin in towards your throat center. And as you exhale, turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale to center and exhale to the left. Inhale, center, and exhale, right. Inhale, center, exhale, left. Do it one more round. Inhale, bring the head up. And as you exhale, go ahead and drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. And take your right arm and angle it in an A-frame position where it's hanging towards the floor, but the fingertips don't quite touch. And then close your eyes and add in that pranayama. And as you're listening to that sound, I want you to think about how there may have been times in your life where your intuition was whispering to you, trying to guide you. And maybe you didn't listen. Maybe you didn't follow the instruction. And then all of a sudden you start noticing that voice gets louder and louder. And then things start happening around you. And you realize, the message is getting louder and stronger. I need to listen. That's what generally happens. And that all stems from this field of energy. On your next inhale, lift the head up, lower the hand back to your lap. As you exhale, drip your right ear towards the right shoulder and extend out through the left arm and fingertips. Holding and breathing. Inhale, head up and hand down. We're going to scoot away from the bolster so that we're sitting flat on the floor for this one. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see. One foot is in front of the other, and we're going to hold our shins. As we inhale, we're moving towards a cow. So the heart protrudes forward and the head leans back. And on the out breath, we pull the belly in and we bow the head or chin to chest. And then we're going to do this with repetition at a pretty quick rate. And we're going to add in the mantra, Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. 3 more. Sat Nam means truth is my name. Truth is my identity. I am truth. Now come back up, swap the position of the feet, and we're going to do it a second round. Sup, nam, 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 sup, nam. 3 more. Sup, nam, sup, nam, sup, nam, sup, nam. And then come back up and flip your hands open. Close your eyes. And feel how much energy that Kriya activated. Pull it up towards the mind's eye and let it pass through the bridge of this chakra. Open up your eyes, and we're going to transfer to hands and knees. So remember, you can put extra padding below any bones that may need some extra support. Once lined up in tabletop position, activate your shins, push down through your palms, feel the belly engaged, but keep your neck in line with your spine. This is meant to be a more neutral position for the neck. Now we're going to do some cat-cows here. It'll be a little bit more dynamic with movement. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale cow. Exhale cat. And continue. We've already taken the head from side to side. We rotated the neck from one shoulder to the other. And now we're opening and closing the throat. Now inhale, return to tabletop. From here, step back, curl the toes, form plank. And remember, in plank, the neck stays in line with the spine. Oftentimes I see people dropping their head. And as you exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Adjust your alignment if need be. Stretch long through the spine. And oftentimes I see people tucking their chin too much or lifting their head up to look at the hands. But the neck should be neutral here as well. We've done a lot with the neck already, so just be still and breathe. And let calmness begin to radiate throughout every cell and fiber of your being. You can even meditate on that Ujjayi breath. And slowly walk the feet forward to the top of the mat. As you arrive, bend your knees. Let your arms and head and neck release like a rag doll. Coming into dangling pose. Allow the blood flow and energy to pour into the face through that passageway of the neck, onward towards the crown of the head. the ultimate place of wisdom. The throat chakra is said to be the center responsible for any balance and opening that we have here regarding negative experiences, where we can actually take those negative experiences and apply some learning and wisdom that we gain from it. Let's take a few cleansing breaths where we breathe in through the nose and hear that audible sound when we breathe out through the mouth. Two more. Last one. Inhale, push the feet down, sweep the arms to your sides and up to upward worship. Gazing towards the hands. Exhale, fold down to Uttanasana, keeping the legs more active and straight. Inhale, prop your hands to your shins. Pop up your head and heart, do a little micro back bend. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, wrist slide up to the upper thighs, shoulders roll back. And then if you're looking out, remember to slightly bow your head. You're looking straight down below your eyes. And then inhale, take the arms to your sides and up. Opening the throat. And then exhale, folding down and in, Uttanasana, straight active legs still. Inhale, little back bend, so open throat again. Exhale, pour down, relax your neck. Inhale, let your neck be in line with your spine as you form that 90-degree angle with your body. Look straight down below the face. Now, while you're here, grab your block, set them close to the feet, and you're going to step your left foot just a short distance back and plant it down. Your front knee can stay bent for a moment, and then lift up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you can keep this knee bent if it brings better balance, or you can challenge your balance and really straighten it out. So it just depends. Your arms are going to lift up, your fingertips are going to curl in, and when you draw back with your left arm, only pull back with the shoulder, not the hip. Gaze towards your right thumb and slowly start to twist and rotate to the right. Archer's pose. Look sharply through the right corner of the eyes so that you're not forcing too much rotation in your neck. Affirming, I am focused on sending my love and light out into the world. As you exhale, unwind. Once you unwind, you're going to bend that front knee, bring the hands to the blocks, wiggle the left toes back so you're in a more dynamic lunge. And then once you're there, you're going to sink the back knee, shin, foot. All right, so you have an option here. You can lower and prop to the blocks. And there's different ways that you can prop on blocks, you know. Or you can let your hands hang down and your head hang down. You can even meditate with that Ujjayi breath. This class is going to be a blend today between active and passive poses. This one's more passive, so sink and surrender into it. Now there's two ways you can enter plank here. Maybe you want to slide your right knee back and do table first and then plank. Maybe it's okay for you to tuck the back toes and just step to plank. Either way, hold the plank, build some strength, neck in line with the spine. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to come on down to your knees, untuck the toes, and you're going to come down to the belly with your arms before you, Sphinx. Now, in your Sphinx position, if you need to be active today, maybe that's what your SI joints require. Your legs will lengthen back and be parallel. Your glutes will stay tightly woven. You're pushing down through the elbows, propping up your heart, and finding a good angle for your head and your neck, wherever that is. If you want to join me in the passive form, your feet are going to separate out. Rock your hips so that your glutes are relaxed. And you're going to bow your head and tilt your head towards your right shoulder. So yin or yang, your choice. If you're choosing to be passive, let's stay in Sphinx, but move the head over towards the left shoulder. Stay in command of your breath. Inhale, relift the head. And let's all get active. Bring the feet closer together. Stretch back through your leg bones. Tighten in the buttocks. Lift a little taller in your upper body. And then as you exhale, slide your hands back, roll towards your chest. Pick up your elbows. Push through your palms to shift back to table. Now, when you bring the hips back towards your heels, you're going to widen your thighs. Your hands are going to be stacked at first. Your left hand's going to flip and go underneath that right arm to lay down to the left temple and ear. Love giving options. If this feels best for today, remain. If you want to do something with the right arm, you can hook it around behind your back. If your jaw feels tight, sometimes it's nice just to keep the mouth agape. Let's release the back arm. Let's unthread the left arm. And curl the knees closer together. Rock up hands and knees. Curl the toes. Let's give the knees a little break and open them back up as we extend the legs to downward facing dog.
But let's lift high to the toes on the inhale. And let's spill down through the ankles on the exhale. Do that a couple times. And on that last one, just continue to sink the heels lower, lower, lower towards the floor. And eventually come back to the knees. Untuck the toes, separate the thighs. We'll do that half shoelace, arms to the other side. So your left hand's propped, right palm opens, thread up underneath, lower to the right temple and ear. Your choice to be here or hooking that left arm behind your back. Let's sink the left hand back down, unthread that arm, close the thighs together, slide out, and rock up, downward facing dog. So just think about what we were opening up in our hips, what we were opening up in that twist, in that threading of the shoulders and arms. And we're allowing it to drain down towards the throat center now. Let's travel the feet towards the top of the mat. Find the blocks. Step back shortly with your left foot. Excuse me, right foot now. Sorry about that. Front knee can stay bent as you come up to stand. And then if you need the knee to be bent, if that's better balance for you, that's okay. If you want to challenge your balance, straighten the leg, square the hips. Arms out in front, fingers curl in. This time pulling back with the right arm, thumb stacking, and twisting to the left. This throat chakra is about hearing, speaking, expressing, and living our truth. And we can see that being played out more and more each day in our society. Last year I mentioned Pluto's making its natal return in the United States chart. So all last year, and including this year, more and more truths are being unveiled. Let's slowly unwind. Take your time. Release your hands, lunge that front knee, wiggle that back foot behind you, stretch out through that back leg, and then set your right knee to the floor, untuck the toes. And this is where you can come down to prop on blocks. There's different ways of doing that. Or releasing hands and bowing your head. And slowly lifting the head up, curling the back toes under, stepping up to the front, arching up, maybe back bend. Exhale, round down. Inhale, wrist slide up to the hip crease, upper thighs. Elongate your neck, look straight down below the face. And we'll close out the sun style, reaching the arms up overhead. Gazing towards the wrist, and then exhale, bring hands back home to the heart. So we're going to do a little energization work, and then we're going to take a restorative pose and rest. So I'm going to turn my back to you, and it's the double breathing. Short, long breath in through the nose, short, long breath through the mouth, okay? We'll start with the left arm. Looks like this. And let's begin. And release. And then we're going to take the hands to the fist, and we'll be doing the twist. So make sure you're not going to hit any furniture when you do this. The knees are going to be soft. Double inhale, center, double exhale, twist. Let's begin. Last one. And then stand in the anatomical position. Palms facing out, feet apart, eyes at half mast. So the Hindu deity that relates here is Sadashiva. Shiva beats the drum. It represents the rhythm of time, the rhythm and patterns that we see in the universe. And so the throat chakra represents whatever vibration we're holding and what we're resonating with. Maybe it's resonating with a person or a group of people with a certain ideology or belief system or something. Feel that spark of energization. And then you're going to want a blanket or two and your bolster for this. If you have a blanket, you're going to want to fold it up, kind of like this, okay, about this shape. And here's the reason why. We're going to do a restorative fish. So that restorative fish, if you take the bolster to your low back and lay over, sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't. So if you find your low back is cranky, this is where the blanket will come in and you'll sit on it. So it's not as deep. Hopefully that takes any discomfort away. Maybe that discomfort's in your head and neck or shoulders. If your low back is good, you can pull that blanket away and you can bring it to the other side. And the reason why I suggested 2 blankets or toss pillows, you might need one on each side. So let's go ahead and create this formation. And I know I kind of got you all energized before I took you here. But I wanted you to be energized so that your mind would be alert. Start by taking a few cleansing breaths. Let the breath go. Swallow if you need to. And mention the color can be represented by like a sky blue or kind of an aquamarine blue. So I want you to imagine that you're in the Caribbean. You could also picture yourself in an infinity pool or a saltwater pool. But that Caribbean blue sea is clear water. I had another epiphany with the throat chakra yesterday. And it was that when we're truly honest, we're being transparent. We're not hiding anything at all. So imagine you're floating on clear, crystal blue water. And you have the sky above. It's cloudless. And the warm sunlight is pouring down on your face. As you picture this in your mind's eye, notice if it brings you any sense of serenity or tranquility. And then I'm going to allow you to move inward and to be in silence and to do some deep inner listening. Allowing that silence to create a bond between your mind and heart. Now I want you to picture that some sparkly blue-like plasma is either coming from the waters below or the sky from above and flowing up and down your spine, your astral spine. And take 5 more deep breaths. And inhale, slide your feet back. Exhale, roll over to one side. We're gonna come back to sit on the bolster. And we're going to end with a chant instead of Om, which is the one for the third eye. We're going to do the one for the throat, which is Hum. It's kind of like Hum, but we'll chant it like Om. All right, so inhale the arms up. Hum. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.